Last night was hometowns on The Bachelorette. Rachel and Gabby met all of the guys' families except for Aven. He got cut out, and we're going to get all into it. So, welcome to our live chat, everybody. I'm here today, Zachary Reality, with Kayla Thompson, one of our newer co-hosts here at Shared News. Before we get into today's live, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new here. We also have the live chat going on right now, so be sure to give us your hot takes. Kayla, you've been here at Shared News for a minute. How are you liking it here, and what did you think of the recent episode?
Well, Zach, it's been amazing to be welcomed into the shared family. You guys have made me feel so comfortable. We be kikiing every time before we start recording,
Mhm.
and I just love it. I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about this week. I feel like there's so much to talk about. I don't know about you,
Mhm.
but it was a packed episode. I mean, obviously they had to fit like 6 hometowns into 2 hours.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I definitely have some different perspectives coming out of the episode than I had going in. So I'm excited to see what you're thinking. So
Mhm.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it because I felt like this was the beginning of the end. Like, I feel like the season takes
Yeah.
so long, and this week's episode was so pivotal in being like, no, we're at hometowns, we're in the home stretch, like fantasy suites. People are about to leave and break up. And did you see that trailer at the end? Like, it looks like it's about to go crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, I saw the thing that you were saying about because you told me in I don't know if it was off camera or on, but like you told me about Gabby like jumping ship, and I saw that
Mm-hmm.
part, and I was like, oh my god, Zach's right. Like, what's going on? Like, I was
Mm-hmm.
freaking out, but yeah, this season's
Quite
ending, and I'm
literally,
like,
quite literally jumping ship. Like she might end up leaving. And we're going to break down like the
yeah.
trailer and give our predictions at the end, but I mean, it looks like she might not even have a choice to leave the show early
Mm,
because what happened this week on Hometowns, we're going to get into because it seems like not everybody is taking it as seriously as she is. So, Gabby and Rachel went to the Hometowns, and Gabby, of course, took out Johnny. I think he went first. Jason A. and
it was
Erich. And I want to
Jason.
start with
Yeah.
Johnny. It was
Hmm.
Jason first. Well, I don't know why, but
Yeah,
I feel like
Jason
we
went
should
first.
start with Johnny because I
Let's do
feel like
Johnny.
he's the third. He's
Mm,
he's kind of like
yeah.
giving like third person energy right now. And while Gabby
Yeah.
seems to have a pretty big crush on him, Johnny told his family this week that he is certainly not ready for an engagement. So, where do you
Mm.
think we're at? What did you think of his hometown?
Yeah. I mean, I really like Johnny. I think I said it last week when we
Mm-hmm.
were talking. Like, I personally like Johnny a lot. I love his
Why?
personality. I just the way you asked that was funny. I mean, I think like for instance when they met up, like Gabby's like running and she's like laughing and he's like, "Why are you laughing?" Like he just brings like this
Mm-hmm.
different kind of energy. He's
Mm-hmm.
so cute and fun and like he has like this cool guy
Flirty.
swag. He's so flirty and I like how he's just refreshing to me. I feel like he's not being like, "Oh, this is the Bachelorette and I'm on camera." And I feel like he's really being himself and I like that about him. But yeah, I
No, I
mean,
like that
there
too. I like that too.
yeah.
But the thing is, like, he's great, but is he good enough for
Mhm.
Gabby? Like, he's 25 years old.
Yeah.
She's 31. He seems to just want to live a few more years of life and just kind of party a little bit. I think we'll definitely see him in paradise if Gabby does not end up picking him. So I think
Mhm.
he's great and like I like him for you. But as far as like where he's at with Gabby and if she should continue with him, especially after seeing what he said to his family this week about not being ready, like I think she's better off
Mhm.
sending him home right before
Yeah.
fantasy suites and not even bringing him there. But if she does want to get a little something something, he is a hot guy just like you said, then maybe bring him along a little bit longer and have fun, but ultimately they're not going to get married.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I think that their connection is like it's weird because I feel like they do have a lot of chemistry. Like for me personally, when I see them together, there's this like they really have to me one of the strongest like visual you can see they have chemistry together. But it's true. Like I think lifestyle wise, he's not there. And I think him questioning like getting on a knee is big. Like I don't know if I can do that. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's clear to see that even the two of them at the end of the date were like, I can see myself falling, but they're both not necessarily there. So at least they're on the same page with that. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think Johnny has more time to grow into himself and I don't know, get there in his life where he's like, okay,
Yeah.
now I'm really ready to be serious. But what I do like and appreciate is that you can tell is really confusing for him because he's like, I like her so much. So I would like
Mm-hmm.
want to be there, but like, am I? And the fact that, he's questioning that is at least it's nice to hear that he's that into Gabby. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he
I see your point.
cares. He cares.
Yeah.
He wants to fall in love with her, and she is such a great girl for him. Like I feel like she could be someone he's envisioned his whole life, but ultimately like they're
Mhm.
just at two different stages of their life. So I think that's what's gonna probably lead to their breakup, maybe next episode, most likely. And it seems like after this week, I don't know about you, but like I said last week, it just seems like Gabby and Erich are the only people that are going to make sense because as we get to Jason A's hometown in New Orleans, we met his family. He kind of said something similar to his family that he wasn't ready to get married and get down on one knee, and that the whole big picture is kind of scary for him. And Gabby even brought it
Mhm.
up to Jason's sister and was like, do you think Jason could be with someone like me? So she's having doubts as well. So what did you think about their
Mhm.
home date and how does it differ from Johnny's?
Yeah. I mean, I think that just off the bat, Jason and Gabby have way more of a stronger kind of like emotional bond and connection than Johnny. So I feel like you can sense it off of Gabby how much more seriously she takes Jason's hometown. I mean, I think she had an ITM where she was like, I realize how much I have to lose, like if this doesn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that says a lot. But when I was watching his conversation with his mom, to me, what he said about like an engagement was more so about like the timeline of the show and like can I propose to her in 2 weeks. That no, I don't think I can do that. But I don't know if it was
Yeah.
like, am I ready in my life? I don't know. I didn't get that from him. I don't remember it being like that. But and I think that's fair. I think Jason is somebody that I see who came into this like, hey, we'll see what happens. Like she could be my wife, but like at the same time it's not really his environment. Obviously he like almost left,
Uh-huh.
like he really was not,
He's
he's not cut
shy
out for the Bachelor. He's shy. His
and
personality
he
is
can't
not
be
cut
the
out for
bachelor.
this.
He can't be the
No.
Bachelor next season. Like he doesn't have the big enough
No.
personality. We got to know him a lot more this episode, but he's been fading into the background. Like I saw him on this date talk about his date with like in Paris with Gabby and like how that was a big moment for him. But that was the last time we've really heard anything from him on that episode. Like he
Yeah.
really was keeping it so low key, which leads me to believe that like maybe he's just not opening up enough to Gabby.
Mm.
Because it seems like
Mm.
she's closer with Johnny and Erich. It seems like they've opened
Yeah.
up way more than he has. And that's fine that this
Hmm.
might not be the right environment for you, but this is the right environment. This is the environment you're in. So whether it's right or wrong,
Yeah.
it's going to depict like, is this going to be enough for Gabby? Because she needs to make a decision. And if
Hmm.
you're not sure, you're having doubts, there's Erich, who we got to talk about, who seems to be all
Yeah.
in. But then
Yeah,
he
it's true.
also is having his own internal conflicts right now because what's going on with his dad
Hmm.
and his family. So it's just like poor Gabby, like she
Yeah.
can't catch a
I
break. Like
know.
it's
I know
each
all her
guy
guys
is
seem
a
to be
hurdle
like
for
that.
her.
Yeah, I mean, well, what
Yeah,
I'll say too, just about Jason, and then we can definitely talk about Eric because I have so many thoughts.
yeah.
But I think that when it comes to Jason and Gabby, I do really like their balance. Like, I like what his mom said about them having a balance with each other. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, in terms of him opening up about how he feels about her, I just feel like I don't know. I feel like maybe they're withholding something, like because at the end of the episode, it was like her and the ITM was like, "Oh, I'm falling in love. I'm head over heels. All these things." She said a lot of grand things about Jason, like I want to be
Mm-hmm.
with him forever, like all these things. But it was like
Aw.
we didn't have anything from him, and I don't know if it's that he didn't have anything to say or is that they didn't show it. So I'm just trying to. I feel like for me, I just need to see more. But I'm definitely not so like, oh, it's for sure Jason anymore. I'm way more eyes open to Eric at this point. Like It could be
Yeah,
either
yeah.
one. I don't know. We'll have to see, but
Well, I like that. I like that
yeah.
you are at least like still weighing on the options. Like I feel like I'm just so like dead set when I think someone's gonna win. Like that's my opinion. It's just not gonna change. And so I've been saying this for Eric. But I like that you're still like maybe she'll pick Johnny, maybe she'll pick Jason. I feel
I
like
don't know. See.
some people might be in the same boat as you. And yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, there's just not a lot of time. Like, there's six
Yeah.
hometowns on one episode. Like, that's crazy. Like, there's probably so much
Mm,
that's not shown. There's a 4 hour date with the parents that we're only seeing 6 minutes
exactly.
of. Like, it's crazy, crazy rush. But let's talk about
Yeah.
Eric because he is
Okay.
Gabby's, final hometown, and he has been struggling right now because his dad is sick with cancer. Now, we saw some really
Mhm.
emotional conversations take place on this episode. Our whole hearts, I mean, in Bachelor Nation, us here, like we really did break for Eric. We felt for Eric. We want to send his family so much love because unfortunately his dad did
Mhm.
pass away in July, so a couple months after filming. Yeah, it's definitely a difficult time to fall in love with someone when like such an important person in your life is going through that tragedy. So I
Yeah.
can't even imagine how difficult it is for Eric and for Gabby to kind of fall in love with him while he's dealing with this. But what did you
Mhm.
think about her date? Do you
Yeah.
think that she might be nervous to pick him now because she knows
Hmm.
what a big, chapter of his life he's about to go through right now, like the grieving process? Or do you think this is just going to show her
Mm.
how much she loves Eric and how much she wants to be with him?
Yeah, that's a great question. I didn't think about that, especially let's say they're together right now and a month
Mm-hmm.
and a half ago his father passed away. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
lot. I think though Gabby being an ICU nurse, I think that she's equipped to
true.
handle that kind of a thing. And so I think, and that was one thing that I really saw bond her with their family more so than just like being generally empathetic to, their situation with his dad. But I think that with that being said, she should be able to handle it. I have faith in her, but I think for me, what it showed with Erich, not only bringing Gabby to his home to meet his father, who this could be the last girl I mean, it was, I'm assuming, was the last girl he
Yeah.
ever saw his son with. Like, there's that,
Mm-hmm.
but also there's the fact of he's sacrificing time away from his dad to be
Yeah.
on this show pursuing Gabby. That said a lot to me. Like, I sat back with that and I was like, yo, that put a lot into perspective with how much he feels for Gabby. And so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
overall their hometown date was so strong. And I really felt like he won me over. Zach, he really won me over. Like, y'all know last week
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't really like Erich like that. I was like,
Uh-huh.
I
No, a
don't
lot
know.
of people, Kayla,
Feeling him.
everybody has been like that since the beginning. A lot of people felt sideways about him because when he had his
Yeah.
first one-on-one date with Gabby, she opened up about her mom, and the audience just didn't think that he gave enough sympathy to her from what was shown on the
Hmm.
camera. And I've been saying they like to kind of give sometimes
Hmm.
the guy a certain edit. And now this is what they
Hmm.
wanted, Kayla. They wanted you and everyone else to
Not
be
even a
like, I don't know how
question.
I feel about Eric. And then at the end, they're
It's
like,
true.
they want you to, now you'll love them. And now everyone will ship Gabby and Eric. But
It's true.
it is
It's
sad.
true.
It is a sad time for Eric. And, I
Hmm.
hope that they end up getting engaged. And I hope that this brings them stronger together. And,
Hmm.
we'll see what happens with them. I
Yeah.
mean, we saw the trailer. We're going to talk about predictions, but we might as well talk about some predictions for Gabby. Do you think she's just going to leave early with Eric because he needs to be with her dad, and that she'll just dump Johnny and Jason
Hmm.
like almost together in a group breakup since they both said they're not ready like to their parents? Why else would they have shown that on the TV screen? And then
Hmm.
she's gonna leave early with Eric, and then Rachel's gonna finish it out, and
Hmm.
that's why Jesse says you're the only Bachelorette left. That is what the trailer is telling me.
The trailer could be saying so many different things. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I don't know if I'm like 100% sure that that's exactly what the case is, but I
Well, what do
could
you
see
think?
like I think that what I think okay with the whole Gabby, you're the only bachelorette here. My first thought honestly was again something that you told me last week, which was that they're going to have separate fantasy suite
Fantasy
episodes.
suites.
So maybe they're
Oh,
having
okay.
separate rose ceremonies. And so Jesse is like,
Mm-hmm.
you're the only bachelorette here. You're going to have your own ceremony. Like that was where my brain went to first. But I could definitely see if she knows it's Erich right away, she's not going to waste his time away from his dad. Like, let's go figure it out. But we have to break down the preview because there's some things that came up that made me be like, I don't know. I think there's still a second option, where she's trying to figure it
What do
out.
you
And
think it is?
I think she's just still trying to figure out between Jason and Erich. And I think,
Okay.
there's some conversation that I think her and Erich are gonna have about like potentially someone
Yeah.
else and him feeling like, so I think
Mm-hmm.
someone else is still there. And I think she's trying to figure out where her feelings lie. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because fantasy suites do get sketchy. So if Erich is like, we're in love, you're going to pick me, like, why are you even doing a fantasy suite with Jason or with Johnny? So maybe that's why it'll
Right.
make him feel like, I don't need to be here. Like, because I know it's the show and it's the
Mm,
premise, but Kayla, I feel like me and you are the same. Like, I'm not going to
yeah,
spend a night with you if you're going to spend a night with someone else the next day. Like, I don't care if we're on The
it's true.
Bachelor or not. Like, I'm
It's
not, like,
true.
no. So Erich
Yeah,
might get a
it's
little
fair.
mad next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get it because it's
Um,
like, yeah, I'm with you 100%. Yeah.
Okay, period. Guys, if you are
Period.
listening to us here at Shared News, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. We're going to get into Rachel's hometowns, so please be sure to leave your thoughts and questions in the live chat. We'll be getting to those in just a few minutes. Let's talk about Rachel. She is starting her week off with Tyler. They spent a very lovely day together walking around the boardwalk in Wildwood before she decided to break his heart. What did you think of the date and how she kind of broke up with him right before meeting the rest of his family?
First of all, I saw a meme on Twitter that was like, did you see it, Zach? It was like Ronnie
Which
from Jersey
one?
Shore always
Yep.
said,
Mm-hmm.
you don't fall in love at the Jersey Shore. That was the first
I
thing I thought of.
literally no, I mentioned that exact meme in one of my recaps I did. I love bachelor accounts that make memes. Like they're so talented and
Yes.
so good. We did a segment once where we were like reacting to memes, so we'll have to bring that back for next week's episode because
Yes,
I mean with
I
the
would love
Kronk
that.
memes for Zach's dad as well, like some of these bachelor accounts are absolutely hilarious. But getting back
Yeah.
to Tyler, were you shocked
Yeah.
about this breakup? Did you see it coming?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The minute he was like, "This is my cousin. This is my best friend. This is my sister over there. I worked with him." I was like, "Rachel's gonna break up with him. This is too much for her. This is too
He's
much."
being
And
too he's
it
too
wasn't even
excited.
him. I think she was just like overwhelmed with like, "Oh wow, wait a minute. Like this is legit. Like this is real. This isn't like cute anymore. Like this is actually happening that I'm meeting like his family. I'm in his world." And when when that reality hit me that she was going to send him home before, and I said it last week when we did our preview predictions, but I thought it was something that
Mhm.
happened with his family. I didn't think it was Rachel realizing I'm not there yet. I need to send him home like now. I was kind of mad. I felt like it was irresponsible because it it
Oh, because you
it
think she should
definitely
have sent
gave
him
him.
home
She should have never
before
taken
she
him. She should have never
that's a good
taken him to
point.
hometowns. We would have had enough
Honestly, it
time
would have
for
saved us
Aven, first of
time.
all.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Be here. We could have had Aven.
Honestly,
But like Zach, like it really gave the wrong impression because
mhm.
let's not forget Tyler got the hometown date group date rose over Tino and Aven, which was
Yeah.
like you should have
Mhm.
been 100,000% sure with giving that rose. So where you were just being cute, like giving him
Uh,
the rose. I'm just like,
oh,
I'm
you're trying to
so
challenge. She was
confused
trying
how
to
you go
challenge
from
Tino.
I
That's
don't
what
know
she
what
was
she was trying
doing.
to do. Right, that whole week was trying to throw Tino
But
under the
you're
bus.
right though, because it I get that. I think it could have been seen as irresponsible to even bring him to hometowns. Clearly, he was so excited to show Rachel around. You know, Gabby only brought 3 guys. She didn't want to do that to Spencer. So that is a good point. But I guess with Rachel, she kind of just had to be there, and it probably hit her once she got to Jersey that she was just like, no, this is not it. So we got to at least give her some credit for breaking up with him before bringing her, like before he brought her home, because like the mom, and we saw a scene of like the other siblings and dad or whatever, like that is so brutal and heartbreaking because the mom, Tyler's mom, was like, I just know my gut, he's going to be so happy. I have a good feeling about it. And then he walks in. It
Yes.
was devastating.
It was
But I'm not too
embarrassing.
sad. It was. I
Yeah.
never felt overly invested in Tyler, like throughout the
No,
whole
I
season.
agree.
Like I don't care if he's on
I
Paradise. I
don't
don't need him as the
think
Bachelor.
and I don't think that even in the breakup, I don't know that Tyler was like I feel like Tyler really liked the idea of Rachel,
He's
but I don't
young.
know if
He's
like I
young.
really believe yeah, he's young and like I'm like Tyler, you're in love with Rachel right now. You didn't even get a whole one-on-one date. Like I feel like he's just a little
Hmm.
hyped and I'm like he'll be okay. It'll be fine. The breakup was definitely
He'll be
brutal cuz he
fine.
kept talking through the whole thing, but I was like it'll be fine.
I think he I
Yeah.
think he might have gone to Paradise, which I guess we'll find out in the next week because I know they're going to give us a trailer at the
Oh,
Men
okay.
Tell All. So we'll see if he ended up
Oh,
going because he did leave early enough in the season. But yeah, Tyler's gone, and now Rachel's down to her final three. So they're both down to three guys left. We had Zach's date up next, which was in California, where she got to meet his uncle, Patrick Warburton, who we talked about last week, who
mhm.
played Kronk on Emperor's New
Yeah.
Groove, as well as Seinfeld and all these other things. But this episode really showed that Tino does have competition. For everyone that says that Tino is like the
Mm,
number one, he's the front runner, she really
mhm.
does care a lot about Zach too.
Yeah. She does. Yeah, she really does. I mean, it was hard for me because I feel like I agree. Zach is such a huge contender. And Zach, like, he's just so amazing. The idea that he came up with for this hometown date was just fire. Like, the full
Hmm.
circle, we're going to watch the planes together. And that was like what we, the first thing we really connected on. It was just so beautiful. And I think that my only thing is that I feel like the edit was just so great. Like his edit is so great that you're like, how could it not be Zach, right? Tino has all these
Hmm.
issues. Then I'm like, it's
Yeah,
too easy.
that's my
Like,
point.
don't,
That's my point.
they're trying to get me.
Hmm.
So I'm just like, it's giving
Hmm.
very much Brandon. Like, he's so into her
Hmm.
and he's so all in, like 2 feet in, like
What do you
100%.
so then like should the Bachelor change their editing skills? Because we've all been watching this show for years, and me and you, we're not the only people who are saying this and noticing this. Like, I think they
Yeah.
need to change their editing skills if they want to keep viewers longer. Because now we can just predict things too easily.
No, it's true. I think they need to switch it up and stop trying to like trick everybody. Like, because even though they're trying to trick us, it's like, I don't know. We still feel in our gut that she's going to pick Tino. I don't know. We still feel
Yeah,
it,
like duh, of
So,
course.
duh. It's so clear. So I'm just like,
I
don't
I
do
don't
that
know
to me.
though.
Just show me what's real.
Zach,
Yeah.
he has this uncle. I watch the credits. I never stay for the credits because I'm always, so quick to get on Twitter. But like, I
Right.
don't know. Like, if you were dating a guy, and I might keep him around a little bit longer just to kind of get that inheritance.
Just
I
think
don't know. I'm
you
just
thinking
kidding. I'm
that
just kidding.
Zach has like do you think that Zach has
He's got
like
a
some
bag.
inheritance from his uncle? He's got a bag.
Zach has a
No,
bag, and he
yeah,
has a bag for life.
I am weak. I wanted more from him though in the episode though. I know we got it in the little post credit scene, but I wanted more. Like I
Hmm.
was like, wait, is she not gonna talk to Uncle Kronk? Kronk? Like I'm
I
mad. I
know.
wanted him to like ask some questions or just give us a little bit, but yeah, I mean, my only thing, Zach, is like do you feel like they still kind of set us up for the heartbreak because when the mom and the dad were both like, oh, I'm just worried about Zach, like I don't know, did you get that feeling or I don't know, was it just me?
Well, it could have been like foreshadowing, like his parents are just a little bit, concerned. Like that could be foreshadowing for what's about
Mm,
to happen. But we also saw in the trailer that Zach basically said like there was a 180 after Fantasy Suites or something. So
yeah,
it makes me nervous that Zach could be the one that decides to break up with Rachel.
yeah, I don't know what Zach, I don't know what the heck's going on. I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
really it's just like what is gonna happen with this
Well, did
ending,
you
but
know they
yeah.
actually changed the order of Rachel's dates. So what was like originally shot first it was not actually what was on the TV. So they actually shot Aven's first, then Tyler's, then Zach's, and Tino was last in real time, and that's different than what was shown on the show.
So, okay. Thank you for telling me that because me and my aunt were talking about Gabby's dates. And she was saying, oh, Jason got the first hometown. So that says that this X, Y, and Z. And Zach got the first hometown. So that says X, Y, and Z about like who's going to get picked. So I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
but they can always show us something that's not really in real time, you know? So that's
Yeah.
wild. That is
Our producer is
wild.
telling us this right now. For Gabby, they shot Erich first, then Jason, and then Johnny. So that's very interesting.
OMG, the T, because we
Mm-hmm.
were literally debating. She's like, no, Jason got the first hometown, so he's the runner up.
Yeah, yeah.
Eric got the last one, so he's the winner pick, which is like obviously we don't know spoilers, guys, but this is just,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, our like
Well, it'll be
bachelor
interesting
like
for fantasy suites. It will
yeah.
be interesting too. Who gets the first fantasy suite? Is that because a lot of times people get in their head when they're like the second or third fantasy suite, but do you want to be the last
Mhm.
one? All of these things kind of
Yeah.
go into thought. Not that Rachel and Gabby are necessarily picking these dates. It could just be the producers. But let's talk about
Woo.
Tino. His date was a lot of drama. People are talking all about it in the Bachelor Nation fears. Now, Tino's parents were very skeptical, and we saw Rachel even break down crying to producers. This was like an off camera moment that was obviously on
Mm.
camera, where Rachel was like genuinely convinced that Tino's parents hated her and wanted nothing to do with her. I mean, we know Rachel to be a drama queen. It wouldn't be an episode if she wasn't crying, but I would have cried too this week if Tino's parents, like the way they were talking to her.
No, it was wild. They were rude.
Mm-hmm.
They were very rude. And you know what else? That the other thing is that they were rude, but it was like they were like almost mad that Tino even went or like got,
Yeah.
went on the show cuz like before they even got to the house, like his mom was saying something while the cameras were there and I don't know what she said, but she whatever she said, it was like, oh, they're choosing violence for this date. Like they are like ready to go down
Uh-huh.
guns blazing because
They must
they're
have
not
never
open
seen
at
the show
all.
before. They must have never seen it.
Mm,
They must
yeah.
not know, which I
Yeah.
don't, which makes no sense. They must have, like, I don't, like, what kind, like, you got to be smart enough to realize that this is going to be on TV. Like, you can't act like a total fool. Like, I don't know if they were encouraged by producers. I understand that they're very skeptical. Like, I get it. Like, an
Hmm.
engagement is crazy. You don't even know Rachel. You're just meeting her. There's these cameras. Like, I
Right.
get that it's a lot to digest for Tino's parents. So I understand why they reacted the way they did. But they should have
Yeah.
done more research on the show and on what this is and like asked
Yeah.
around their neighbors and been like, has anyone seen The Bachelor? What are these hometowns like? Like they should have
Hmm.
just been more
Hmm.
prepared so that they didn't come across like complete morons because that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
And
No,
there was
it's
even some
true.
drama with Tino's dad. Apparently he's been saying some things on Facebook about the show which are making some people look at him sideways.
Really? Like what?
Well, there was one thing where he was calling Bachelor Data, who like tracks all the data of the show. He
Mhm.
was like calling her a nerd for like keeping track of like the suitcases or just like something. Um, and it was just kind of like a little. Bachelor Data felt like it was just like a little bit rude because he's like kind of
That's
was like
petty.
judging the. Yeah, it's like petty. Like he's judging the show and the fan base and like the reactions. It's almost giving
Yeah.
like Barb, like Peter's mom.
Yeah, it's definitely giving Barb, and I just need them to all calm down. I just felt like he was rude to Tina, like even to Tino, like when they
Hmm.
sat down, like, and I think Tino almost could sense like how his parents were gonna be. They were gonna
Of
be this way,
course.
combative, and it caused Tino to
Hmm.
kind of like give like serve it back, almost like this kind of little tennis match or something, where the dad's like, "So what are you gonna
Hmm.
do at the end?
No
Like,
one can
there's three other
win.
people." Tino's like, well,
Yeah.
they're all gonna go home and I'm gonna propose to her. It was like everyone's just being like, it just
And then
was,
everyone calls Tino cocky, but it's like, no, like he's just being confident. And this is where will have Tino's back. Like he's going after what he wants and
hmm
he's not taking no for an
hmm
answer. Like that is the way
yeah,
to win the heart, win the girl's heart at the end.
yeah,
And I think that Tino's parents could redeem themselves. So if Rachel and Tino end up together, like we'll see in After the Final Rose, his parents will get brought on. I'm sure that they'll meet Tony, Rachel's dad. Like they can have a moment to
mm,
save this, right? But they
yeah.
also can make it
I
worse
hope
for them because
so.
I remember seeing Barb at After the Final Rose. She was going in at Maddie, she was going in at Hannah. So it's like we'll
Yep.
see if Tino's dad is ready to evolve. But isn't it interesting, Kayla,
Yeah.
how they're most in love. Rachel's most in love with Tino. Gabby's most in love with Erich, and both of them have like family. One has trauma and one has issues. Like
Mm,
it's similar.
I
They're really
know.
parallel. Their love
It's
stories.
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. And I think like what's unfortunate about their two hometowns being so different is that with Eric, even despite what's going on with his dad and like they were so open with Gabby and they gave her a chance. They gave it a chance to get to know her. And with Tino's family,
Hmm.
I kind of just was like, so this was just a waste of time because why are we talking about well how much time have you had? Well, the process is this isn't real. And it's like, okay, I get it. I understand, but at the end of the day, we're here now. And now I want you to tell me what you think about this girl cuz I feel connected to
Yeah.
her. Like I feel strongly for her and without they didn't even like give a chance to give that perspective because they were so zeroed in on like the process not
Hmm.
working, which I understand, but that's not why we're here for you to
Yeah.
get to know Rachel and see with what you know about Tino, is she a good match for him? And I just feel like that didn't happen at all, so why are we even here? I would have rather them had pulled a Justin, his family didn't come to the hometown with
Hmm.
Katie. I would have rather have them not
Yeah.
even come and just had Tino's friends because then we would have actually
Uh-huh.
gotten somewhere with the purpose of the hometown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It almost was
So
like
it
taking
just
steps
felt,
back. And like they didn't have to do the hometown if
yeah,
they didn't want to. Like you said, Tino maybe has friends that would
exactly.
have been great for it. We've seen stuff like that on other shows as well. Like sometimes the parents don't want to be on TV. Like it almost they could have saved themselves because you're right, they weren't open. But it's difficult
Yeah.
because Rachel said she was falling in love with him. And did she
Hmm.
say that to Zach? She definitely didn't say it to Tyler.
You definitely, obviously, no. She said it like in the ITM for Zach, but she didn't say it to
Okay.
Zach.
So
So
that's an indicator
yeah,
that she really loves him because what she went through
yeah,
with Clayton, like she's not going to be throwing those I love yous around. So I think that
yeah,
there's going to be a road ahead for Tino and Rachel if they want to make things
yeah,
work and if she does, choose him and he
yeah,
proposes. Like I said, the parents can redeem themselves after the final rose. We're open to
yeah,
that. We don't want to hate on them too hard. Like I'm sure that they're nice
yeah,
people. It was the environment. But we'll
yeah,
see what happens.
yeah.
And
I have
then
a question
Aven,
actually.
unfortunately, okay,
Oh,
and then I want to get into
yeah,
Aven.
yeah. I know you want to get to it. Real quick before we leave Tino. Did
Hmm.
you feel? Because I was like, ooh, at this part. Did you feel like it was really weird when Tino was like, "Oh, they adored you"? I was like, huh?
Well, that's
Like
the
that
thing
was a
I've
very
heard a
odd
lot of people
response.
say. I've heard a lot of people saying stuff like that online too. Like, is Tino maybe like a little controlling or, in his head?
Mm,
Like, he might like something might not be like he might like toxic masculinity maybe. Like, he's got to be able to read the room and know that his parents made Rachel cry. Like, he had to have put two and two together, right? Like maybe he
yeah.
didn't. Maybe they were all separated. But that is a red
Hmm.
flag if he's just telling her what she wants to hear versus the truth. Because at the end of the day, like, she's going to respect honesty and the relationship has to build off an honest foundation. Like, I would have had more respect for
Yeah.
Tino if he said, like, well, actually, they are not happy with this right now. Like, you know what I mean? At least she would have known.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I agree. At least I would have wanted a little bit more of like, hey, this is the situation, but it's gonna be okay. 'Cause this is how you. I did feel like he wasn't trying to like completely ignore it. I think he was trying to just like not make it worse by being like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was terrible. That would not have been good.
That's fair.
So, but I did feel like him trying to just push through it, like, no, they adored you, it's fine, was just like, okay, Tino, just let's just be realistic. They did not adore me.
Yeah.
They didn't even give me a
Well, maybe
chance.
next week.
But
Maybe
yeah,
next week they'll
yeah,
talk about it
for sure.
more and like in depth. And I'm sure that at this point too, like it's really hard with the cameras. Like I get it. Where I feel like fantasy suites are really going to be able to kind of speed things up where people can have those conversations because he probably doesn't want to talk bad about his parents on camera either. So we'll give him the benefit of the
Hmm.
doubt. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Aven, unfortunately, we did not get to see his hometown this week. It was cut out of the episode, which was very upsetting because we love him here. But it also had me thinking that, like, he's a wrap. Like, if they're gonna exclude him from a whole episode, like, he is a wrap. He's a wrap in the storyline.
Mm,
Like, how are you gonna miss a whole
yeah.
episode of one of the
Yeah.
top four guys. Like, I get that there's so many hometowns, but clearly he just wasn't important to the storyline.
It's true. I mean, you could see it that way, or you could also see, oh wow, like they saved Aven for a whole
Best for
segment of,
last.
maybe best for last. But yeah, I remember like with Michael A, I think he got his segment like before Mental All for Katie's season. So I don't know, it could be like, oh, let's just give Aven his whole own time. But I agree. But I don't know, the editing's just been weird this season. Like I would have thought like with Erich or Jason, or like we would have gotten more like side conversations being seen with him and Gabby, but sometimes they like cut it for someone like her and Logan or something like that. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, people just get cut and they just edit things weird, and people have shorter times than others, and it's just, I don't know what to make of it right now. I'm just like, just give me the fantasy suite so I can see what
Right?
the deal is. But I'm excited to
Well, do
see
you
their
think she's gonna
Boston
take
date.
them? Yeah, I think she'll take him to fantasy suites, like
Yeah.
all three of them.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
I mean,
Yeah, I
I
don't think we'll
would,
have a
like,
rose ceremony.
obviously, like, nah,
Obviously, do
there's
you
no
see him?
reason. Yeah, so next week is gonna be the Men Tell All, which I am excited about to see. We kind of saw a little bit of a trailer with that, with what's
Mm.
his face? Meatball pouring all of the sauce on him, and all of the guys are gonna come back. So, what do you think's gonna go down at the Men Tell All? We talked a little bit about what we kind of heard from it, but now we're getting our first trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it'll be interesting because with Hayden not being there, there's no like full villain at like, I don't know, at the mental off from what I know. I think Jacob, I forget his name.
Yeah,
He
Jacob.
was there, but he wasn't like a full villain. And like Chris was kind of a villain in the beginning, and he's not there either. So I'm excited to see kind of like what the drama is going to be, and how they handle that. But I'm very curious to hear what they're going to like show with Nate. I don't like, I want to see if they like let
Mm-hmm.
him explain himself with the whole controversy that's been going on. So I'm kind of most excited about that. But also, I love to peep who's going to be on Paradise with how they like,
Mm-hmm.
show who gets more time than others, and maybe even who our next Bachelor could be. But
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I'm
what
excited
about you?
about finding out who the next Bachelor is too. I don't know if we'll find that out until maybe after the final rose. But I've been
Yeah.
noticing Nate's Instagram is that every caption has kind of been like journey, like the journey continues, and then there was another one that was like my journey is not over yet. So I don't know if Nate is trying to like tease us that he might be the
Mm,
Bachelor. But I don't think they're gonna
mm.
pick him, to be honest. We do have a few questions we're gonna go through. So if you guys have any thoughts or opinions, we're opening up our live chat. Anything in Bachelor Nation, and it could be this episode or anything else that's going on. Kayla, why don't you read the first one from
Let's
Pamela?
do it. Okay, so Pamela says, 100% agree. I gained a lot more respect for Erich after watching this episode, and now I understand why he was saying he didn't want to spend 8 weeks for nothing. Yes, Pamela, I'm going to go ahead and say I totally forgot to mention this earlier. Yes, that definitely gave me perspective on that comment, which I pointed out last week too, that I did not like him saying that in ITM. But yeah, it put it totally into perspective, like where that was coming from, and showed that like editing can really make you think something that it's not. So yeah, Zach, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I like Eric. I've always been like just okay with him. Like even in the beginning when I was like, but like I get it's an edit. Like I still never like fell in love with him, but like I feel like this week I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we saw him open up so much, and like we saw this vulnerable side of him, and we saw what a good guy he is and like how much he cares about his family. So I'm excited to just kind of cheer him on because we wanted Gabby to find love and pick the right guy. So I hope that it is Eric and I can be
Yeah.
like glad about it, because the last thing we
Yeah,
wanted is for her to pick someone that maybe will like screw her over.
I
Crystal
know.
says Rachel is a words of affirmation person. Tyler saying all those sweet things to her at the group date got him the rose. SMH. Crystal is bringing
Hmm.
up a really good point that maybe Tyler
Hmm.
just knew how to kind of sweet talk Rachel in that moment, but at the end of the day, he wasn't the
Hmm.
one.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I see where Crystal you're coming from, But honestly, to me, Rachel giving Tyler that rose was just out of her being the Bachelorette. I think we've seen before. I feel like
Gotcha.
Rachel sometimes goes between the love and that's her kind of priority and like the connections and like I'm supposed to have 5 guys, not 7. I'm supposed to have 4 guys at hometown, so I'm going to give this rose to Tyler. You know what I mean? So
That's
yeah,
fair.
but all the guys say
Uh,
what needs to be said. They kind of all do that. Yeah.
yeah, it is part of the
So
job to give out a rose, but I understand what Crystal was saying too. Like, I just felt
mhm.
random for Tyler to get that rose, and then you were even saying like she shouldn't have gave it to him, and then she sent him home.
I
Carly
know.
says the breakup with Tyler was so painful to watch. They put so much time into showing the breakup. I'm wondering if he is a potential next Bachelor. No,
Hmm.
there's no way we're gonna see him as the Bachelor. Like, I think we'll
Yeah,
see him on
no.
Paradise.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in paradise. They didn't show us enough of Tyler. He didn't get enough screen time to get be the Bachelor. But I could
Yeah.
totally see him coming in like week 3 of Paradise and being like, "Who's this
Is
hot
there any
guy?" You know?
girls do you think he would vibe with from Clayton's season that you could think of? It's
Ooh,
been a
from
minute since we
Clayton's
talked about them,
season. I
but I'm excited to
know. I'm
see the
like
cast
trying
pictures
to.
for Paradise to like
Yeah, I
remember
mean, I know
everybody
they'll
again.
also. Yeah, it's true. I like can't remember. All I can remember is Serene right now, but I feel like Serene, I have someone else for her in mind. But I
Okay.
don't know. I think it could be a wild card. Like I don't want him. Maybe like what's her name? Not Gianna. What's her name? I'm thinking of our Gianna.
Genevieve?
Genevieve. Maybe someone random like that. That's like, oh, they actually have some chemistry or something. Or like I could see
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah.
and Genevieve or something like that. I feel like Johnny's going to Paradise. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Johnny's definitely going to be there. What is Sarah saying?
Okay, so Sarah says, I heard Erich told Gabby about his dad on their first one-on-one. Oh yeah, I feel like they did introduce that situation with his dad early on in his first one-on-one. Um, yeah, it's weird. I think for me that one was so much about like what was going on with Gabby and her feelings and
Hmm.
insecurities bubbling up from her mom. So I kind of forgot about that. Yeah.
Well, like Eric, Jason A, like they just didn't get airtime for like 4 episodes. Like they had their
It's
moments in the
true.
beginning where they had strong connections, and I don't know if this correlates with the fact that Gabby might end up leaving early and Rachel's gonna be there till the end, so that's why they're kind of like setting things up certain ways. But I'm
Hmm.
sure Eric and Gabby have been so much more open and vulnerable with each other and have connected more and laughed more than we're seeing on the screen because it's just a show
100%.
that films for hours and then there's so much time. And I
Yeah.
don't think that they should make two bachelors anymore if this is how it's going to go because there truly just isn't enough time to get to know
Really?
anyone or fit these hometowns in. Well, I still want two bachelors, but
Mm.
it's just so hard to fit everything in.
Yeah, no. I want two bachelors for like the drama of it and like also I did find it really refreshing to not have to like only watch one lead the whole time. Like I liked kind of
Yeah,
shifting my focus from Rachel to Gabby. It was entertaining to
me
me,
too.
but to me I don't even think it's like two bachelorettes because let's just I don't know, let's unpack it a little. Like honestly, they should have more time because they're splitting guys so early. But I think it's to me this show and the way they're producing and the way that they're having like everything's being canceled like all day long.
Every
It's like
cocktail party.
every cocktail party, every like it's like guys, we have to actually make room for the romance. I think that they need to kind of just pivot their priority a little bit and just allow a lot more time for them to have conversations. And I think we'll be okay.
Hmm.
But I see your point
Yeah.
though for sure. It's a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm so excited to see how this ends. Now we're at the good part. Like these next few weeks are going to
Yes,
be high level drama, high level breakups, possibly engagements, more family coming in. Like the drama has just started. Like the next few episodes, that's when it gets crazy. So we're
it's
excited
true.
to see what happens. We'll be talking about it here at Shared News. Let us know your thoughts in your comments in the question tab down below in the comment section. Even if you missed the live, still let us know what you think and what your predictions are. And that is everything we have for today. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell before you head out of here. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, with Kayla Thompson. Our socials are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow. Come say hello. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.